People often ask if your ego or me totally dissolves, what does that feel like? How do I know if my ego is dying or not? Let's clarify this. First, there is no ego or me. Never has been. Just the whole. Nothing separate. Just what's happening. Not to a someone. Second, since there is no me-go, nothing need die. We are dream characters in this dream of separateness, which is our only function. Virtually everyone will live out their lives fully identified with the dreamer, the me, right up until their death. And that is completely fitting within the dream of separateness. There's nothing less noble or spiritual about that than stumbling upon the realization that the me is illusory, or even its apparent collapse, dissolution. Third, if the illusion is realized intellectually at first and then directly in inquiry or meditation, including the realization that continuing to placate or try to satisfy this false me identity always remains unsatisfying, unreliable, and ultimately futile, there is nothing to do. This realization and concurrent dissatisfaction or futility may give rise to a strong yearning to be rid of this illusory me or escape the dream, a strong yearning to melt back into identityless being, depression or unbearable agitation, or a feeling you just can't live like this anymore. But ultimately, those yearnings and feelings are still the me, wanting a better life experience for itself. So if your desire to awaken from the dream is coming from the thought, if this me and all its seeking and chasing happiness could end, disappear, I can simply exist as a desireless part of everything, neutral, in peace, the dissolution will not appear. Because who wants that if not the me? The whole, this everything, isn't pining for that. Indeed, the proof it's just another me desire is the fact that the me wants to still be around to enjoy this new identityless feeling after it happens. So it follows that, lastly, the me can never destroy the me. For that would take the me's participation, thus enlivening it. It can be bittersweet when the me identity seems to be evaporating, both beautiful and maddening. A point can come, especially for those who have already satisfied most of their worldly desires and avocations, where trying to continue satisfying the me is both redundant and futile, where enthusiasm for what pleasures the me can enjoy on any given day is replaced by boredom, disinterest, and the inability to rekindle pleasure from the things that used to provide at least temporary gratification. A void or feeling of depression can settle in because the false me has realized nothing it can ever do will satisfy it deeply and permanently. And being human, all such good times will inevitably be mixed with bad times, periods of suffering, illness, and ultimate decay. It longs for the oblivion of just being, without a personality or any personal desires. And yet, any such feelings are evident only in the illusory me. Being can never have such feelings. There dawns the possibility of just being part of the whole, the flow, no personal identity or desires. Like a beautiful tree or river that's just there, without any personal desire to give or get anything from the world. This definitely signals an onset of the death of me. Yet the me can feel very lost and bearingless during this period, which can make for what some have poetically labeled a dark night of the soul. It can't go back. Nothing it ever did, no action or pursuit will ever satisfy it anymore. Even the most delightful sex, eating, travel, acquiring, or identity building that used to entice it will fill it anymore. Now, all those things seem dead, joyless, redundant. No juice, no interest. But the me can do nothing to accelerate the shift or cause its death, because that would still be the assertion of the me, its desires, its suffering, and its false doership. Here, some teachers often suggest karma yoga, or immersing oneself in the service of others. And one may successfully lose themselves in this for a while, but the me and its own desire to use this selflessness as their entry into no self is usually still remnant in this, and eventually the ego's own personal agenda rears its head again. The me's hold on the dream character's life is energetic. It's an energy of functioning in and as the dream character, in the dream of separateness. It shows up as the energy of habit or repeated patterns. And a lifetime of identification with the me identity does not dissipate on command. Usually the first new energy to emerge is the energy of intention, of seeking. But that is still a me pattern looking for a way out of me. When coming in contact with a total release of that held energy, which could be an apparent awakened other, something in nature, a mind-altering drug, or a near-death experience, it is possible for that contracted energy to spontaneously let go. But the me cannot let go, cannot cause this. Indeed, the actuality of this shift, what it is or feels like, cannot even be heard by this me. It's beyond description. So although the words and lectures appear as useful pointers, any actual letting go of the contracted me energy can only occur when and if it does. Totally spontaneous, uncaused, and unexpected, happening to no one. It is nothing awakening to itself. And if we were to add when and if it deems or damn well pleases, that would also be an illusion, because nothing actually happens. If the apparent dreamer knows all this, even resonates with it deeply, but remains the me looking for it, doesn't fully dissolve into it, the me will go on seeking, which is also perfect, also the beloved. When the contracted separate suffering energy of me suddenly and spontaneously collapses. And it always eventually does at the completion of this dream life. All that's left is all there ever was, being. And if it appears to happen while still embodied, all of this still remains. The appearance of a world, nature, cars, and a body. But there's no one in there. Poetically, we might say God or being or the beloved is now looking through your eyes. Just life experiencing itself. Nothing but this, what is. But that's what was happening even when it appeared to be being filtered and interpreted through a me. Just phenomena rising and falling. What appears to be happening to no one.